Well, talking of breaking history, let's get more now on Lewis Hamilton's record-equalling 7th Formula One world title. We can speak to someone who knows him better than most, who's been competing with him through much of the journey and pushed him harder than most in the world title race. Former Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg, so good to see you. An incredible race in Istanbul yesterday. Was that drive a drive from a true champion, do you feel?
Yeah, hi, it's good to be on the show. And I was massively enjoying that race yesterday. I think to all F1 fans, I think everybody was thrilled because it was so exciting. And really, no one would have thought that Lewis has any chance of coming close to the win yesterday. And yet, in the end, once again, it was an absolute masterclass. And he showed once again that he's the best out there. And a phenomenal achievement, those 7 titles.
When a race is so difficult like it was yesterday for him, is there anyone better, do you feel, than Hamilton?
So I have witnessed it firsthand because I was his teammate, as you know, for many years. And so, yes, I can confirm that in those conditions, he certainly is the best. And we saw it again yesterday. And I mean, 7 titles, no one ever would have thought that Michael Schumacher's titles would be equaled or broken. And yet now he's there. And I think it's not only one of the best and most successful sporting Formula One achievements, but I would say sporting as a whole, it's one of the greatest achievements in sporting as a whole in history. So unbelievable. And of course, I know Lewis since a long time. We were karting teammates at the age of 14. So best friends at the time also. So really hats off, huge respect, and yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, you talk about the fact that you've got a long history with Lewis. You were one of the only 2 teammates to beat him. What does it take to beat him then, Nico?
Well, first of all, to beat him, you need to get everything 100% perfect. Otherwise, you have no chance, and it requires total dedication, total perfection, and putting everything together throughout a whole season. I was fortunate enough that I managed to do it in 1 season, so I'm very, very proud of that. And the more he wins, the more I understand also why it was quite difficult to beat him.
Does that make it even more sweeter for you, the fact that it was so difficult and is so difficult to beat him?
In some way, of course. It just a little bit keeps on adding to that sweetness that, yes, I was up against statistically the greatest of all time in the same car. So, of course, that's a great thing, and just makes the memories even all the more special for me as well, yes.
Because it's Schumacher that he's, equalled the record against, do we have to compare him with Schumacher?
Well, Schumacher is one of the other all-time greats, so certainly, yes, why not? Why not? Let's compare him to the all-time greats. I'm not going to say here now one is better than the other. I think they're there or thereabouts. You'd mention Schumacher, you'd mention Senna, you'd mention Fangio. I would probably filter out those 4: Lewis, Senna, Fangio, and Schumacher. And who's the best? It's just impossible to say, but I mean, equally in their own way, they've all been just unbelievable.
He said it feels like it's just the beginning, which might seem an odd thing to say considering what he's already achieved. How long do you want to see him go on for? How long do you think he can? You know how challenging this career is.
Well, I think to hear that for the opposition is going to be a bit of a scary thing. For the likes of Bottas or Verstappen or Vettel or whoever else is still out there, if he's saying it's just the beginning, my goodness, I mean, where is he going to end up with? So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be interested to follow as well his decisions, what he decides to do going forward, since he hasn't done a contract yet for next year. But I'm racing him. As you see behind me, this is my Rosberg Extreme Racing team for Extreme E, which is new championship. And I'll be racing him in that championship because he's also created a team. So I'm very excited to take on our competition once again, and this time all for the good cause for fighting climate change.
Oh, wonderful. It sounds like a great cause. Well done for doing that. Who's going to win that one then?
Well, I don't like coming second, so I'll be to be on top again.
Look, Nico, you know him well, you know him personally. What drives him? Because this is a relentless career. You have to be super fit, you have to go all over the world all the time. What drives Lewis Hamilton, do you feel?
Well, we have one thing in common, that we're just ultra competitive. And we live and breathe winning the next race, winning championships. And that's really what makes him stand out in that way. He's so damn competitive. I mean, even when we were 14, the competition between us It was in everything in life. It wasn't even just on the racetrack. It was just everywhere. And that's phenomenal, to be so relentless that you still have motivation to go for even more once you get 5, 6, now 7 titles. That's so impressive, because of course there's always that risk that the motivation will start to die out when you've achieved just so much. There's not much more to achieve out there. And that's an incredible achievement as well. And that's what makes it so special, to not only just win one championship, but so many.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. What a great way to end. Thank you so much for joining us, Nico.
Thank you to you. Bye-bye.